Picture this, Paris, 1990s. The ballroom scene from Paris is burning pulses, a kaleidoscope of gender performances, drag queens transforming expectation itself. Here, bodies insist on being seen, but how do these acts reveal the limits imposed on what counts as a real body? Judith Butler dives straight into this glittering world to ask, how does power decide which bodies truly matter and why? Butler flips the usual debate on its head. It's not just that society shapes bodies, but that power literally constructs matter itself. This forces us to rethink how sex and gender get made in the first place. In Paris is Burning, drag queens like Dorian Corey don't just perform femininity. They expose the harsh rules that say who can pass as a certain sex or gender. Their tumultuous runway battles dramatize a world where bodies must align with rigid norms or risk invisibility and violence. Think of power as a master sculptor chipping away not marble but flesh and identity. It sets boundaries on what bodies can do, look like, even exist. Just as a sculptor decides every shape and line, power decides viable sexes, trimming anything that falls outside a narrow definition. This means bodies aren't just biological facts but political constructions, a surprising twist. Materiality, or the flesh, is caught up in circuits of cultural meaning and force, constantly reshaped and redefined by social demands and exclusions. You've heard gender is a performance, but Butler's take cuts deeper. Gender isn't a mask, it's the act that creates the face. This blows open what it means to be any sex. In Nella Larson's novel, Passing, Claire Kendry slips between black and white identities, showing how these labels are not fixed but performed daily. Butler reads this as a vivid example. Our bodies and sexes emerge through repeated acts, not some hidden essence. Imagine gender like a language you learn by speaking it out loud. Every gesture, word, or drag show is a phrase building the story of your sex. Without these repeated acts, the story and your identity would dissolve into silence. Butler pushes beyond this. Citationality means copying and remixing social scripts to disrupt norms. Like DJs sampling old records to create fresh music, those outside traditional bodies reclaim and reshape discourse, forcing power to stumble and reform. If power makes bodies, resistance must be bodily too. Butler dives into queer, trans, and racial struggles where bodies refuse their scripted roles, and take us to a new edge of possibility. The documentary Paris is Burning showcases how Black and Latino drag performers carve out radical, creative spaces. Their flamboyant defiance against heteronormativity is more than art. It's a brave act of claiming physical and social existence on their own terms. Butler argues that resisting how bodies get framed isn't just protest, it's a material contest. Bodies intervene, disrupting the expected and making visible the cracks in power's grip. This is resistance as a physical, tangible force alive in flesh and gesture. Every break in normative constraints opens up a clearing, a new possibility. When gender binaries and fixed sexes falter, they create unpredictable, fertile ground where new kinds of bodies and identities can grow and thrive. Back in the ballroom of Paris is Burning. Those dancers glitter not just for show, they're fighting the very limits that say who counts as a body worthy of life. Butler's lesson is thrillingly direct. Your body matters because it's caught in a struggle for meaning and power. So next time you catch yourself playing a part, ask, how can you perform differently, rewrite the rules just a little? Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.